frye. Yeah. Hell yeah, I got not a lot of time, but a lot of things to say and a lot of emotions. So I guess, what are we doing here? Unpoetry at the Frye is essentially gathering artists to do ekphrastic creation with the art in the galleries, right? So it starts with poetry and writing and spoken word. But then today, and for this program, I immediately start thinking, it's like, well, when you get poets and writers to do ekphrasis, what happens when you give that to dancers, to movement artists, to different types? Like, how do they respond to the art then in their words, right? So today is kind of a bigger, longer production, definitely the most unpoetry at the Frye ever. For those uninitiated, unpoetry is at the very least, monthly, 1 to 2 times monthly performance series that we do here in Seattle, now just at Casa del Xolo. We've been doing it for 2 years. We've been here at the Frye. This will be the last unpoetry at the Frye for this year. Fingers crossed for next year. And that is kind of like the overarching speech. In terms of the artists I brought here, I know it's annoying to say thank yous at the beginning, but it has been actually a pleasure to work with Anna and the Frye. A lot of museum rules, but it has actually been like a really fun working relationship that I think is going to keep going. In terms of the performers here, we're going to have performances by Changing Bodies, by Emily J. Mundy, and Emily J. Mundy, Hannah Rice, Alia Swersky, and Casey Adams, and myself. And that is kind of the little small end of how the program will go. I'll read through this for you. And I guess just a brief on why I even invited these people, right? Emily Mundy runs this thing called the Poetry Seance. It's like a quarterly poetry reading, and they've been doing it about 2 years now. Off and on 2 years, but quarterly at least. And the Poetry Seance is basically where I got the idea to do unpoetry. It happened right towards the tail end of the pandemic, and it just inspired me to do something, right? Hannah Rice has worked with unpoetry before, and she has this interest in doing poetry and performance. But I'm so excited to have Hannah here. She invited Alia and Casey to do this one big performance, and that's wonderful. Hannah and Alia were probably the first dance performance I saw in Seattle about 3 or 4 years ago, and that inspired me to see more. Casey does a lot of music around here. His band Customer was probably the first noise show I saw in Seattle, and I've been following them, so it's an honor to share the stage in that way. And Madhava hosts shows and performs all over the place. They do this thing called Penultimate Peril, which doesn't necessarily have a regular schedule, but is like this multi-tiered variety thing, so comedy, visuals, poems, noise. And Madhava let me perform at Penultimate Peril. That got me one of my first noise shows here, and I've been getting more shows. So like everyone here has actually changed my fucking life, and I wasn't supposed to cuss. And now I get one, I guess, and that's it. But yeah, so I'm happy to have everyone here, and I'm happy to be able to share this with you, so thanks for being here. What time are we at? That's not that bad, let's read fast. Okay, I'll read through the flyer here. It's gonna be one kind of big thing, right? So today's show is a 1-hour performance focused by movement and language. And the performance is separated into 5 phases, right? And there's no perfect vantage, no perfect viewpoint. Be comfortable, be respectful of each other, the art, mind the walls and bodies. There's way more people here than everyone's kind of comfortable with, so just kind of keep that in mind. But the performance is separated into 5 phases, right? Introduction and grounding. Then we'll have Samantha Wallach Frassis by Changing Bodies. The procession, me and Emily J. Mundy will walk you through the museum, hopefully in a 2x2 situation. And then we'll lead all the way to The Edge Becomes the Center for another ekphrastic poesis there. And then we'll finish with Lest We Be Scattered, right? During the procession, we're going to try and put you in 2x2s. That was the purpose of the stickers. I see a lot of yellow stickers, not a lot of red stickers, so we'll work through that. But the idea is that depending on which sticker you have, you'll either align yourself left or align yourself right, walk 2x2 through the museum. One color sticker stays in The Edge Becomes the Center, the other goes on and sees that poesis from a different vantage point in the salon. And yeah, the end performances are meant to be concurrent performances. So once again, it's kind of a choose your own adventure thing. Even with the courtyard and how you're dealing with changing bodies, you can stay in here, go through the windows, you can jump in the courtyard with us, mind the plants in the giant boulder, and also you can kind of squeeze into, which is fine with us and the performers. And let me just run through a quick actual beginning of the thing, right? how waves propagate in space. Unpoetry delves into the careening waves of the expectation, is thinking of frames and boxes, reconfigures notions, if and then, unspinning belief in. Art is the opposite of stillness. Merging emergence, art is undetermined box, and also believing in art is reflection or refraction, the echoes of siblings and its refracted divine universal mitoses. Think of the subtle changing of the body, moment to moment, that true stasis is illusory, that at best there is equilibrium, the gathering of opposing forces. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Emily J. Mundy, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for coming. It's really lovely to see everyone here. To begin our hour in the performance space together, I'm going to offer a sort of different type of a grounding meditation. So feel free to simply listen to close your eyes if that's comfortable with you, or simply soften your gaze and then cast it down. Notice the breath, the energetic quality of it, the texture, the rhythm with which it flows in this particular moment. Now start to slow down your inhales and exhales. Even them out in length. And notice, with no judgment, and this concentrated attention to your breathing. Perhaps you can tune into the additional layer of breathing in a room surrounded by other people who are also breathing. And try to stay with this slower breath rhythm as you send your awareness to your feet. Maybe rock back and forth a little bit, shift in your stance. And imagine you are standing in little pools of light. And as you walk through the space today, those pools will appear beneath each step you take forward, leaving a softly pulsing pathway behind you. Now, if someone came upon your lingering pathway, what color of light would it be? And how bright would it radiate? In your mind's eye, conjure the light from the little pools up each ankle and over your kneecaps, into your hips and your belly, and through your rib cage, around each shoulder blade, collarbone, throat space, and now into your skull. And let it linger there for a moment, softening the intensity or buzziness of thoughts. And as we move through our hour together, consider this container of light you've created as one that is your very own, unique in nature, and also one that radiates from you into the stream that flows from all of our bodies meandering in space. When you're ready, you can flood your eyes.
Thank you.
alia. They find a plane and land up and dwell. Regardless of its physical presence, what unhuge particles travel particularly through thorough hemisphere pulls lines between. Each individual particle temporarily displaced, then returns. Let us build ourselves a city whose tower is heaven, the original equilibrium. Statues don't do you enough credit. There's always a force acting upon that restores to the original position. The conception of shells, upturned, hold, physical, contained, altars of the image self-vigiling, the emptiness of grandeur, hull. Then they said to one another that they had. Let us make a name for ourselves. Waves are said to be an energy transport phenomenon. It is important to consider the medium as a collection of interacting particles. Question: what predetermined we have worded as stable? Reception pertains. Stasis arises for not believing the feel. That stay is a conglomerate of separate constituent being. Brick for stone, asphalt for mortar. Frequency that breathes, and which true self calls to. Say within that stasis. Bodies unperceived. A continuum of structures, a complex, agogic system of pace, lest we be scattered abroad over the whole face of the whole earth. There is a versioning of the body beyond itself.
Remember this.
Next iteration of the timeless being, once believed to be a dream.
The skull an upside-down hole filling with violet light.
To place the body in time and sequence, denoting the exactitude of space, implying that when it doesn't intersect, doesn't interact.
Each eye a stained glass window of reflection. Opulent opal portals drinking in the hymnal prism.
Preconception is still.
Throat a waking flute. Funnel to the parachutes of lungs as breath becomes a pink balloon, a peony in bloom.
That experience all being dreaming, let them somehow be.
String of the spine tight yet serpentine, upright yet swiveling. Valley billowing into great mountain lake, beckoning the dip below the crown, cool water casting echoes over mind's endless twinkling. Two hips swimming up for air, raptured to wrap around. Consider conveying to the cosmos that you will not walk. You'd rather dance to the center's center, where the pinprick of light peeks through the dim doorway.
Consider the body's intersection, the many levels of its limitless being.
Remember your body a small flare signaling to the shimmering web, that despite disbelief, life continues. Body a small prayer that says, I too am a star. I too am a particle swirling. I too am a speck in the parade of organisms wriggling. I too am a radiant, endless gravity conduit contained to a delicate frame. Out of the skin and the sinew, out of the muscle and blood, out of the bone and the marrow. Each voice in the flux flittering in unison, the sun at your solar plexus, and the concept of you orbiting, carving a pathway so that the stars can speak through you who are the opening.
Dissipating timeline. It gets bonkers. Catacomb, catechism, Hegel, depths. Photons have energy, not mass. But also that energy acts just like a mass for the purpose of gravity. Gravity, like any acceleration, causes a hydrostatic pressure gradient in fluid-filled bodily compartments. That is to say that decisions have what is made of something that pulls from you. The key component of harmony is always tension. And that simultaneity also just carrying in dissonance. Waves the effect of gravity, that there is friction in together. Force per unit area, all angles, even joining exerted by the field of mass and their perpendicularity of their vertices. Fluid pressure does indeed create a complex relationship. Forced by a fluid of its containing potential muscle with perception, gravity, bottom Carcass. They built a tower, each brick tongue, solid with spit and slip membrane, the visage of thirst. Unattainable form, creator, woman, in unaided view, smeared, could be seen as phonetic communication, a catechism, catacomb, oropharynx. Lest we be scattered, we will hide ourselves, and what we've made, bury our truth and foundation. Think of the relationship of excavation and exorcism. The dust might swirl regardless, the scattering of the index is completed. Do you see each mouth set, the done confusion of receptacle, each builder wave, syntaxis, sinusoid swirling? Is this people or being? Weren't the first ones the spoken, whose blur still stirs stale? The archon who architected, lingua remula on eve of the horizon span of very replicate stone, origin as origin. What said sleeps under palatopharyngeal arch? What wonder fulcrum fullness hardened under knowing? Verbal frames of disaster. Your dogma ate itself, your movement because was the downfall. You spoke the same and therefrom steadied atrophy. Call me art and damn me. Call mine spoken scorn. I am dead inside your knowing what's held inside. Thanks for coming on poetry, everybody. We're going to meet in the rotunda after this. Have a good night. Carcass. They built a tower, each brick tongue, solid with spit and slip membrane, the visage of thirst. Unattainable form, creator, woman, in unaided view, smeared, could be seen as phonetic communication, a catechism, catacomb, oropharynx. Lest we be scattered, we will hide ourselves, and what we've made, bury our truth and foundation. Think of the relationship of excavation and exorcism. The dust might swirl regardless, the scattering of the index is completed. Do you see each mouth set, the done confusion of receptacle, each builder wave, syntaxis, sinusoid swirling? Is this people or being? Weren't the first ones the spoken, whose blur still stirs stale? The archon who architected, lingua remula on eve of the horizon span of very replicate stone, origin as origin. What said sleeps under palatopharyngeal arch? What wonder fulcrum fullness hardened under knowing? Verbal frames of disaster. Your dogma ate itself, your movement because was the downfall. You spoke the same and therefrom steadied atrophy. Call me art and damn me. Call mine spoken scorn. I am dead inside your knowing what's held inside. Thanks for coming on poetry, everybody. We're going to meet in the rotunda after this. Have a good night.